Hi! So Halloween's coming up, and this year I decided one of my costumes is going to be Katy Perry's CandyLand dress. I found a picture of it online and just kind of did a little spin on it. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of close. It still looks good. And I'm going to show you how to make it. So this is the dress we're going to be making. There's the back. It's got a lot to it, but it's really actually pretty simple. So let's get started. Okay, first off you're going to need to make a tube dress. Wrap some fabric around your body and find out where you need to make your seam. Next is the top band. I cut out rectangles of every color, lined them up into a pattern, and then sewed them all together to make a round. Sew this top band around the top of your dress. Next, pleat and sew multicolored tulle to the bottom of your dress. To cover up the seam, I made a long tulle braid and sewed it to the top part. I added sequins for a little extra shine. Make another rainbow band and sew it just above the bottom part of the dress. Next up, you're going to need a lot of fabric circles. We're going to be making yo-yos, and you need a lot of them. Stitch all the way around the outside. Pull the threads together and tie at the end to secure it. This is what I ended up with. For the next part, we're going to be making small candies. Take some felt and roll it up. Cut a strip of contrasting fabric and wrap it around your felt roll. Next, roll the entire thing up in some tulle and use either tulle or ribbon to tie the ends off. Use brown felt to make a cone shape. For the top of the ice cream cone, it's just a big yo-yo that has been stuffed with scraps to make it 3D. Stuff both the cone and the yo-yo with scraps and sew them together. For the cherry on top, I twisted a little piece of red ribbon and sewed it to the top. Next, we're going to wrap a strip of gold fabric all the way around the cone. Make sure the top and the bottom are secure by sewing them. Wrap the entire cone in some tulle. Measure it out and cut the top off. We're going to sew right where the original seam is. Next, cut out a big circle of fabric. We're going to make a big yo-yo. Stuff the yo-yo full with some scraps. Sew two gathered rectangles together and then sew the yo-yo on top. I also sewed a few ribbons together and then attached it to the back of the bow just to make it a little bit more cute. Wrap some ribbon around one finger, then 2 fingers, then 3 fingers, then 4 fingers. Sew them all together to create this little bubble. Next, I used 2 different colors of tulle and then made a knot in the middle. I did one of every color. Next, take a long piece of ribbon, cross it around itself, and then you're going to sew straight up the middle to make a bow. Also gathered a piece of tulle just to make it a little bit more fancy. I did this also on the blue bow. Also, I made a big pink yo-yo, stuffed it full of scraps, and then attached it to the front side. Now we have an ice cream cone, this bow I found, 3 candies, a big blue bow, a big pink bow, lots of yo-yos, these ties I made, some ribbons, and lots of sequins. All that's left to do is attach all your things to the front and back of the dress. I hand sewed a lot of it, but also used hot glue as well. Okay, so that entire process, it took me about, I'd say about 20 hours to do. It took me 2 days. A few finishing touches, obviously, lots of sequins and sparkles and little ribbons and a little more tulle on the bottom I ended up doing. On the back, I added this flower. I actually had this big open space. I didn't really know how to fill it up, and so I made this flower out of some of the scraps of my tulle. And it's just long pieces of tulle that have been sewn together and then gathered and then like made into a circle. And then I put a yo-yo on it. I don't know, I think it worked really well. And it's really cold where I live. And so I'll probably end up wearing this with long sleeve black or long sleeve white shirt on and some leggings maybe. So it's pretty versatile, and I think it's a winner. Thanks.